I should have known something was wrong when I saw the convoy of golf carts racing across my back pasture at 7:42 in the morning. 4 HOA board members, wearing those ridiculous matching windbreakers, were barreling toward their clubhouse using my private property as their personal highway. That's when they discovered the surprise I'd left for them. A line of commercial-grade tire deflation strips. The sound was beautiful. 2 tires popped instantly. The second cart tried to swerve, pop, pop. By the time the third cart managed to stop, it was too late for the driver behind them. 4 carts. 12 tires. And one very angry HOA president, Diane Hartwell, who was about to learn that her reign of terror had finally hit a spike. My name is Jake Morrison. 3 years ago, I bought 5 acres just outside the jurisdiction of Ridgehurst Heights. I wanted freedom. But Diane, with her pearls and perfectly unmovable blonde hair, considered my natural meadow an eyesore and my existence a threat to her property values. It started with letters about vermin in my grass. Then complaints about noise pollution from livestock I didn't even own yet. Finally, she sent a notice stating my property was subject to their architectural review committee because they could see it. My attorney laughed. Diane didn't. One morning, I found a chain link gate installed 20 feet into my land with a sign, property of Ridgehurst Heights HOA. I called the sheriff. Deputy Coleman told me I had every right to remove it. I did, with a sawzall and a smile. Then, I installed trail cameras. The footage revealed that Diane was leading a daily parade of golf carts through my pasture to save 5 minutes on their commute to the clubhouse. When I confronted her, she looked me in the eye and said, "Possession is 9/10 of the law. We've established an easement." I told her I'd owned the land for 3 years and no easement existed. She laughed and said I couldn't afford the legal fees to fight them. Diane made a fatal mistake. She filed a complaint with the county claiming I was blocking a public thoroughfare. The county clerk, Bob, pulled records back to 1952. Not only was there no public easement, but the documents explicitly stated the road was private property. Bob actually laughed when he read Diane's confident complaint. My attorney, Sandra, sent a cease and desist. Diane's response? She called my land an attractive nuisance, and said it was my responsibility to accommodate the HOA's safety by letting them drive through it. Sandra nearly spilled her coffee. "I'm framing this," she said. "This is the most ridiculous legal argument in history." That's when I decided to defend my land. In Colorado, property owners have very clear rights. I invested in professional spike strips. I put up signs every 20 feet. No trespassing. 6-inch tall orange letters, warning, tire deflation devices in use. I even added reflective tape. You couldn't miss them unless you were actively trying to ignore reality. The morning of the Great Deflation, I was on my porch with a coffee. I watched the feed on my phone. Diane was in the lead cart, talking on her cell phone, ignoring every single sign. Hiss. Lurch. Stop. Within 30 seconds, 8 board members were standing in my meadow next to 4 disabled carts. Diane was screaming about terrorism and attempted murder. When Deputy Coleman arrived, Diane demanded my arrest. "Did you see the signs, ma'am?" Coleman asked. "The signs are irrelevant," she shrieked. "What about the warning that says your tires would pop?" "I didn't see it," she cried, standing exactly 4 inches away from the sign. Coleman issued criminal trespassing citations to all 8 of them. When Diane tried to argue it was a public road, Coleman showed her the county records on his phone. Her face turned an amazing shade of purple. Then the sheriff himself, Sheriff Davidson, rolled up. He let her rant about domestic terrorism and calling the governor for 10 minutes. When she finally ran out of breath, he leaned in. "Ma'am, you committed criminal trespassing. He's within his rights. If you don't stop, I'm arresting you for stalking and filing false police reports." The silence that followed was the quietest my meadow has ever been. The tow trucks arrived an hour later. $300 per cart, plus storage, plus $200 per tire. And the best part? Their insurance companies denied every claim because the damage occurred during the commission of a crime. That evening's HOA meeting was a bloodbath. The story had hit local news. Residents were furious that their dues were being wasted on Diane's ego. She actually admitted she was trying to harass me into selling to a developer. The vote to remove her as president was 27-3. The district attorney didn't let it go either. Diane took a plea deal. Guilty of misdemeanor trespassing. $8,000 in fines and restitution. 100 hours of community service. And a restraining order. The judge told her she was lucky I didn't sue her for everything she owned. Diane actually started crying in the courtroom. Now, when I sit on my porch, it's truly quiet.
No golf carts. No perils.
Just me, my meadow, and the beautiful, undisturbed sound of the crickets.